Hello, today I'd like to talk about paying for elder care, Medicaid in your home, part two. And again, we're looking at this idea. Am I going to lose my home? Am I going to lose everything? Hello, my name is John Todd. I worked for the long-term care Medicaid office for 5 years. I processed applications for nursing home, assisted living, in-home care applicants. I'm not an attorney. I don't provide legal advice. I do provide expert assistance around Medicaid applications. We plan and preserve assets for the community, spouse, and their families, and we provide Medicaid planning that is legal and ethical by following the rules. So let's look at this paying for elder care, Medicaid in your home, part two. Am I going to lose my home? Will we lose everything? Clients always want to know if the Medicaid department is going to take their home. We already talked about some of those rules, but let's look at a couple other exceptions to the rule. The first thing I wanted to know is the Medicaid rules. The home is an exempt asset as long as the couple needs it. However, when they pass, the property may not be protected. The state can take back from the deceased estate whatever is paid to care for the Medicaid applicant, and that's called Medicaid estate recovery. Usually that recovery takes the form of a lien against the property, so the property cannot be transferred or sold until Medicaid gets their portion. So again, we had that example last time or another time that the couple had the property. When they passed, Medicaid had spent $72,000. When the house was sold for $100,000, Medicaid got their $72,000, and the family or the estate got the remaining $28,000. So that was one of the examples we had previously. So today I want to look at, sorry about that. Today I want to look at another example. So Sue's brother-in-law died, and so she invited her widowed sister Mary to come live with her. Mary said, well, I can't come live for free, so she just wanted to contribute financially, and so she paid off the remainder of the mortgage of about $25,000. After 4 years, Sue, the original owner, needs nursing home care and Medicaid. Sue and Mary agree that Mary should get to have the house, but they don't want to cause a penalty or a problem with Medicaid. So here's kind of an exception to the rule. There's the guidelines. Federal law allows transfer to a sibling if A, the sibling lived there at least a year before the applicant moves into the nursing home, and B, the sibling has at least partial ownership in the house. So in this case, Sue may transfer the house to Mary, her sister, with no Medicaid penalty. So Sue will qualify for Medicaid right away. That's going to if she transfers the house to Mary according to these rules and shows it to Medicaid office, then when Sue passes away, Medicaid is not going to come put a lien against the house. It was transferred legally with no penalty. So that's just another little example there. Let me show you one more. Here we have an example where Irene has Alzheimer's and her daughter Laura moved in. Laura moved into her parents' home. At first, Laura was, helped cook the meals, laid out clothes, gave reminders for taking their meds. But as the disease progressed, later Laura had to help feed and bathe and dress her mother and take her to the doctor's appointments and her hair appointments. And for the past 3 years, she provided support, allowing Irene to continue to live in the community. Now, when Irene moved into the memory care unit and applied for Medicaid, federal law allowed the home to be transferred to the daughter Laura without a penalty. And here's the guidelines. The level of care provided by the child helped keep the parent out of the nursing home. In other words, she wasn't just living there and freeloading on her mom, but she was actually taking care of her, and that kept her in the community and not in the nursing home. And then she lived with and provided care for the parent for at least 2 years, and then she may need to have that confirmed or proven with the medical need confirmed by a doctor. So again, it's a little bit complicated, but it might be worth the effort. If Laura moved in there and could get a doctor's note saying that yes, she was providing a level of care that helped keep Irene out of the nursing home for at least 2 years, then Irene could transfer the home to Laura with no penalty. That is, Irene would still get Medicaid. Medicaid would still pay the Alzheimer's unit or the memory care unit. And when Irene passed away, they were not going to put a lien against against the home, because Laura qualified for that transfer by caring for her mother at least those 2 years. The doctor confirmed that that medical need was met, where her care helped keep her out of the nursing home for those 2 years, or at least 2 years. So there's another exception to the rule we've been talking about. So let's go over a couple reminders here. These and other exceptions need professional assistance through an experienced elder law attorney or a qualified Medicaid financial advisor. Note, the Medicaid worker probably will not ask you about these options, and it's up to you to ask. In other words, when I was in the Medicaid office, at least, they would tell me, don't go down these rabbit trails. Don't ask them if they meet these special conditions. But if they ask you, then you can explain what the rules are. So if you fit one of these examples, make sure you mention it when you're applying for Medicaid. And then Medicaid is not going to just be kicking you out of your home. We're going back kind of to the basic idea that, is your home safe? Well, you're safe to have a home and still qualify for Medicaid. If you don't meet one of these exceptions and do something about the house during the lifetime of the applicant, then normally Medicaid is going to put a lien against the home for the value of what they've spent on the applicant's behalf. If you transfer, except to a spouse or under one of these exceptions, or sell the house for less than fair market value, make sure you follow the rules, or else you're going to trigger that 5-year look-back period and a possible Medicaid penalty. So I'm just kind of reminding you of those basics here. So again, I'm John Todd. I do this Medicaid planning, this is both legal and ethical, by following the rules. If you have a question for me, feel free to contact me at eldercarefinancialllc@gmail.com. Thanks, and have a good day.